silence is often more powerful than words. While society frequently encourages us to speak up, to voice our opinions, and to make ourselves heard, there is profound wisdom in knowing when to remain silent. The Stoic philosophers, who valued wisdom, self-discipline, and inner peace, understood that silence can often be the best response to life's most challenging situations. It's in these quiet moments that we find clarity, preserve our relationships, and avoid unnecessary conflict. In this video, we'll explore 5 crucial situations where keeping quiet is not just advisable, but essential for leading a more fulfilling and harmonious life. These aren't just tips for avoiding trouble. They're strategies for cultivating a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. Let's dive into these 5 scenarios where silence can be your greatest ally. The Stoic philosopher Zeno of Citium once remarked, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen more than we say." This statement, though simple, carries a depth of wisdom that resonates even today. It reminds us that silence is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to our ability to control our impulses and choose our responses wisely. The first situation where silence proves invaluable is during an argument, especially when emotions are running high and the atmosphere is charged with tension. In the heat of an argument, when emotions like anger, frustration, and hurt are at their peak, it's easy to lose control. Words spoken in anger can leave deep, lasting scars on relationships, scars that sometimes never heal. The Stoics emphasize the importance of self-control, a virtue that is often tested in moments of conflict. When you feel the urge to lash out, to defend yourself, or to win the argument at any cost, consider the power of silence. By refraining from speaking, you give yourself a moment to breathe, to cool down, and to assess the situation more rationally. This pause can be the difference between escalating the conflict and diffusing it. Silence creates space for emotions to settle and for a more constructive dialogue to emerge later on. It's a way of showing respect for the other person and for the relationship itself, prioritizing long-term harmony over short-term victory. Moreover, silence in an argument can be a powerful tool for listening. When you stop talking, you open yourself up to hearing the other person's perspective more clearly. Often, in the midst of a heated exchange, we're so focused on what we want to say next that we don't truly listen to what the other person is saying. By choosing silence, you allow yourself to absorb their words, to understand their feelings, and to respond, if necessary, with greater empathy and insight. This not only helps to resolve the immediate conflict, but also strengthens the relationship in the long run. The Stoics believe that wisdom comes from understanding, and understanding comes from listening. In this way, silence becomes an active, rather than passive, part of communication. The next situation where silence is essential is when you feel the urge to criticize or judge someone. It's human nature to have opinions about others, but expressing these opinions isn't always necessary or helpful. In fact, unsolicited criticism can be incredibly damaging to relationships, breeding resentment and distrust. The Stoics taught the value of focusing on our own actions and practicing empathy towards others. Before speaking, it's worth considering whether your words will add value to the situation or merely create tension. Often, the act of staying silent allows you to reflect on your own motivations. Are you speaking out of a genuine desire to help? Or are you driven by ego, by the need to feel superior, or to prove a point? Silence in this context is not about suppressing your thoughts or opinions, but about choosing the right moment and the right way to express them, if at all. It's about recognizing that not every thought needs to be voiced, and that sometimes the greatest impact comes from holding your tongue. This kind of silence fosters humility and self-awareness. It encourages you to consider the other person's perspective and to approach the situation with compassion rather than judgment. The Stoics believe that by mastering ourselves, our impulses, our judgments, we could achieve a deeper, more peaceful existence. Silence, in this case, is a tool for self-mastery. Another crucial time to practice silence is when you don't have all the facts. In today's fast-paced, information-saturated world, it's easy to react quickly, to jump to conclusions, or to spread unverified information. This can lead to misunderstandings, hurt feelings, and even serious consequences that could have been avoided with a bit more patience. The Stoics were advocates of caution and judgment, and the importance of seeking clarity before forming opinions. Silence, in this case, becomes a form of wisdom. It's a recognition of the limits of your knowledge and an acknowledgement that rushing to judgment can do more harm than good. When you choose to remain silent until you have a full understanding of the situation, you protect yourself and others from the repercussions of misinformation. This kind of silence is not about passivity or inaction. It's about being thoughtful and deliberate in your response. It's about taking the time to gather information, to reflect on it, and to form a well-considered opinion. The Stoics valued reason and rationality above all else, and silence can often be the first step in engaging these faculties. It allows you to approach situations with a calm, measured perspective, avoiding the pitfalls of rash decisions and hasty words. Consider also the situation when someone confides in you. In moments of trust and vulnerability, silence becomes even more significant. When someone shares something personal or sensitive, your role is not to speak, but to listen. Offering unsolicited advice, interrupting, or even sharing your own experiences can sometimes do more harm than good. The Stoics valued deep, meaningful connections with others, and they understood that listening is a key component of those connections. By keeping quiet, you create a safe space for the other person to express themselves fully, without fear of judgment or interruption. This kind of silence is a gift. It shows that you value their trust and are there to support them without trying to fix or change their experience. The Stoics believed in the power of presence, being fully there for someone without the need to dominate the conversation. Silence, in this context, is an expression of empathy. It's about being with the other person in their moment of need, offering your presence rather than your words. This silent support can be incredibly powerful and healing for the person confiding in you. It's a way of saying, "I'm here for you, and I respect what you're going through." The Stoics understood that sometimes what a person needs most is not advice, but simply someone to listen. There are also moments when silence is the most appropriate response to beauty, wonder, or profound experiences. Life is full of moments that words cannot adequately capture. The sight of a breathtaking landscape, the feeling of deep love, or the stillness of a quiet morning. The Stoics taught the value of presence, of being fully in the moment without the need for constant commentary. In moments of awe or deep emotion, silence allows you to fully absorb and appreciate what you're experiencing. Instead of trying to describe or explain what you're feeling, just be present. Let the silence deepen your connection to the moment and to the world around you. This kind of silence is not emptiness, but fullness. It's the silence of being truly alive and attuned to the beauty of existence. The Stoics believe that life's most profound truths often lie beyond words, in the quiet spaces where we simply experience the world without trying to control or explain it. By choosing silence in these moments, you allow yourself to be fully present, to experience life in its purest form. This silence is a form of reverence, a way of acknowledging the majesty of the world around you and the depth of your own emotions. It's a reminder that not everything needs to be said, that sometimes silence is the most eloquent response. Another important situation where keeping quiet is beneficial is when you're dealing with gossip. Gossip is a harmful practice that can damage reputations, hurt feelings, and create unnecessary drama. Engaging in gossip might provide a temporary sense of connection or superiority, but it ultimately leads to negativity and distrust. The Stoics believe in focusing on what is virtuous and beneficial, and gossip certainly doesn't fit into that category. When you choose to stay silent in the face of gossip, you're taking a stand against spreading negativity. You're also protecting yourself from becoming entangled in the drama that gossip often creates. By refusing to participate, you maintain your integrity and encourage a more positive and respectful environment. Silence is also powerful when you're in the presence of anger, whether it's your own or someone else's. Anger is a volatile emotion that can lead to regrettable actions and words. When you feel anger rising within you, staying silent gives you the space to cool down and assess the situation more rationally. The Stoics taught that anger is a temporary madness, and it's best not to act while under its influence. By choosing silence, you avoid saying things in the heat of the moment that you might later regret. Similarly, when someone else is angry, responding with silence rather than engaging can help defuse the situation. It shows that you're not willing to escalate the conflict and can give the other person a chance to calm down as well. Another situation where silence is often the best response is when someone is sharing their opinion, especially if it differs from yours. In today's polarized world, it's easy to get into heated debates over differing viewpoints. However, the Stoics believed in the value of understanding and tolerance. Instead of immediately jumping in to argue or refute the other person's opinion, sometimes it's better to listen silently. This doesn't mean you have to agree, but it shows respect for the other person's perspective. Silence in this context can lead to a more thoughtful and productive conversation, where both parties feel heard and respected. Finally, silence is essential when you need to process your own thoughts and emotions. In a world that often demands immediate responses and constant communication, taking time to sit in silence can be incredibly beneficial. The Stoics practiced regular self-reflection, using silence as a tool to understand themselves better and to align their actions with their values. When faced with a difficult decision or an overwhelming situation, taking time to be silent and reflect can lead to greater clarity and better choices. This silence is not about avoiding or ignoring problems, but about giving yourself the space to think deeply and intentionally before taking action. In conclusion, silence is a powerful tool that can enhance your life in many ways. It's about recognizing the value of silence in different situations and understanding that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing at all. Whether it's avoiding unnecessary arguments, refraining from judgment, waiting until you have all the facts, respecting someone's trust, appreciating moments of beauty, or protecting yourself from negativity, silence can be a key to living a more peaceful, thoughtful, and fulfilling life. So the next time you find yourself in one of these situations, remember the wisdom of the Stoics and embrace the power of silence.